splinters and tuberculosis was the number one cause of death in 1875 in the West. So they got out there. Right? Now I need to we're going to go around the hub here, and I'm going to introduce some characters on this. So Jay, I want you to go first, and I want you to break down a main character in this. I want you to tell everybody about Joshua LaFour.
Yeah, so Joshua LaFour. See, yeah, I'm going to murder all this stuff too, so I shouldn't even talk.
Right.
He was born in 1842 to Marie Choctaw, Eagle, and Jean-Baptiste LaFour. He grew up speaking 3 languages, Choctaw, French, and English, and he was known as Le Chasseur des Géants. I hope I probably murdered that, but basically the giant hunter.
The giant hunter.
Perfect me, so.
Yeah, so pause that real quick. So pause that real quick. The giant hunter.
Yeah.
And so
but
we're going to double back on that in a second for a little bit more. I just want you to remember that Enigma. It's Giant Hunter was his nickname. Go ahead.
But he didn't get that nickname because of what you think he did.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell him.
He got it. He originally got his nickname for hunting unusually large catfish.
Right.
And local stories said he could track anything through the wilderness.
Right. And those were Nephilim catfish.
Big catfish. I don't know.
Nephilim catfish is what this guy was pulling out of the river. Enigma. It's Nephilim, right? We're talking Book of Enoch stuff. All right, go ahead, Jay.
I mean, catfish get pretty big. Have you seen some of the things that people,
like
that noodling stuff that they do where they stick their hand in the dirt?
Fun fact, there's a lake in Upper East Tennessee called Watauga Lake, and the dam started getting some structural damage in it, and they had to lower the water level in the dam. And they had to send in, obviously, they couldn't drain it. They sent in scuba divers, basically underwater welders. And several of these guys went down there, and they had panic attacks because like 15-foot or 20-foot catfish tried to get a hold of them. They immediately was told, pull me out of here, and they quit. And they said they would never work there again. And if you don't believe me, go look it up. It was in the news. It was in the newspapers.
I believe you.
Yeah. It was
in the newspapers, believe you.
Yeah. So go look it up in the newspapers.
I can't even imagine the size of some of those suckers on the bottom of like those really deep lakes, dude.
Yeah, I think catfish are like koi, right? They'll never stop growing, right? I think that's one of their.
I don't know. All I know is I've seen some pretty damn big catfish.
I was going to say I've seen some video of
really big.
Like you were saying when they pull them out like that, yeah, they're huge.
If that's a 15-foot catfish, the whole of you is the noodle. And I'm not down with that, right? Like they're just gonna go, and you're gonna be gone.
Hey, so real quick, man, redneck check. Would you, for you guys that don't know what noodling is, Jay, tell them what noodling is.
All right, so you get some waders, and you go in the river and you find a squishy spot near the shore. You take your bare arm and you wiggle it around in the mud underneath there. And the catfish will try to swallow it whole. And so when they swallow it, you just pull the catfish up out of the water.
Yeah.
And chuck that sucker on the shore, and you got dinner.
And if you think that's made up, there's actually several YouTube videos of people noodling. Now, so
I've seen it.
Absolutely.
I've seen it.
Redneck check. Jay, would you noodle?
Absolutely not. It's not happening, bro. I'm not.
Steve, would you noodle?
I don't need to put my arm up that far inside of anything.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do it either. It's just weird to me. I don't want, like Jay's saying, I don't need to pull my arm out and have a fish.
Good old fishing reels do just fine for me, sir.
I've seen.
Maybe that's just the traditionalist in me.
I've seen 5'1", 5'2" girls in Daisy Duke and tank tops pulling out 30-pound catfish that literally swallowed them up to their shoulder.
I've seen a lot of people do a lot of things that I don't want to do.
Yeah. My ego can't take it. I got to get in there. I got to get one. Right. It would be terrifying, but I would have to get one. And once I did it once, I wouldn't do it again. Anyways. All right. So.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah. But I'm not gonna lie, man. My stupid mind, I've seen way too much anime. I'm thinking something would like totally just take my arm off.
Well, I was just about
and those things got horns.
Yeah.
They sting you and stuff. And I caught one by the tail one time.
There you go. See, that's more impressive to me.
I caught it with a fishing hook. Yeah, I was just fishing.
I love it.
I was a kid in Georgia, and we had a catfish fry.
All right.
And we were all out there fishing cat, and I caught one by this hook it right by the tail. Just lucky.
So that's Joshua LaFour, and Joshua LaFour was a prominent figure in this area, right? So,
yep.
And remember his name because it's important. He was half Choctaw, half French. Steve, I want you to introduce the second pillar in this story and his sons. Sure.
So along with Joshua LaFour, part of this party that goes out in this story is a Choctaw warrior, I should say, named Hamas Tubby and his 6 sons. Now, what stands out about Tubby and his sons is, I mean, the Choctaw warriors in themselves were large, fierce, Native Americans. All the Tubby men were reportedly at least 7 feet tall and over 300 pounds. Just absolute brutes of men.
Yeah.
But not only that, what's even more impressive than that is that they were very skilled horsemen. They were masters of horseback combat.
Yep.
And they were actually known, Hamas and his sons were known as, ironically named, the Light Horsemen.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they were the other party here in this story.
It's like when you call the 6'9", 340-pound guy tiny, right? Like they were called the Light Horsemen.
Yep.
And so Hamas Tubby, again, before you chuckle that name, this dude was over 7 feet tall, 300 pounds, and he had 6 boys that were 7 feet plus tall and over 300 pounds, right? And I connected some dots on that, man, before we get into it. And this was not, again, what Steve just told you, this was not an awkward 700 pounds. These boys were fleet of foot, very agile, and had mastery over, they were master horsemen, masters on horsemen. All 7 of them were, right?
Subscribe now and turn on the notifications to join us on this extraordinary journey into the unknown.